Hey, sports porgers, it's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back with some Saturday afternoon hockey in New York City. Well, this afternoon, the Pittsburgh Penguins took on the New York Rangers, and they managed to eke out a loser point. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get that second point. That's right. It went to a shootout, and you know what happened to the Pittsburgh Penguins? 1-7 in the shootout going into tonight, this afternoon. And now they're 1-8. So the Pittsburgh Penguins lose 3-2 today. I'll tell you what, this was the story of two games, the first period and the rest. Oh, man. Stu Skinner was in goal tonight. Was really not tested until the second half of the game. I think that the Rangers only had two shots until about like 14 minutes left in the second period. And then the Rangers decided to turn it on for some reason. Gerard was labeled as day-to-day, but he did end up playing tonight. So it was essentially the same lineup that they had on Tuesday. No real changes to the lineup other than Skinner in. And honestly, in the first, the Penguins came out flying. Avery Hayes drew a penalty, and Mantha tip right from Carls, 1-0, right off the bat. Power play score, that's exactly how you want to start the game, especially against a team like the Rangers. You know, they're down. They're not in the playoffs. They're everybody's talking about getting traded. It's just a bad situation in New York right now. So you're like, take advantage of it. And then you get another power play right after that, and Rusty scores, and you're like, oh, baby, 2-0. But hold your horses. There's the good old goalie interference penalty. Let me talk about the goalie interference penalty for just a few minutes here. I cannot understand the goalie interference penalty. Can somebody please explain to me why a defenseman can get thrown into your goalie, but if you get pushed into your goalie by your own guy, it's not goalie interference, even if he knocks him outside of the goal. But when a goalie comes out to play the puck and he actually makes contact with the guy in the blue paint, that's goalie interference. I can't figure it out. It just drives me nuts. I get it. You know, you got to give the goalie a chance to make a play. But my goodness, that just drives me crazy. That being said, plenty enough time for the Penguins to score another goal. That should not have been the one that, you know, that turned the tide. And it really wasn't. But man, that goalie interference, I just can't figure it out. Muse is terrible at it. Maybe Sully's just better at the reviews. I don't know. Maybe that's the sign of a veteran coach. Don't know, but still. So it goes back to 1-0, and Russ hits a crossbar with about 6 minutes left. You know, there was a phantom slash on Sherry by I think it was by Raquel maybe. Anyways, New York Rangers penalty power play couldn't do anything. They didn't even get any shots on their first penalty kill. And Pittsburgh gets another power play goal, but it bleeded into the second and really didn't yield anything. I thought the refs were absolutely horrible in the first period. I don't like to call, the refs, it usually evens out, but my goodness, there was a lot of pull downs, and that goalie interference just set me off. I apologize to my wife for sounding like an absolute crazy man, but I was going nuts. So the second period comes along, and really nothing, like I said, with the power play. And then the fourth line gets on the ice, and they get some magic. Shea put it in. But I'm telling you, I was screaming, come on, fourth line. Let's get some magic. Let's get some magic going. Sure enough, Shea puts it in on a defenseman. Achari standing right there. Just great. I love it. I love that fourth line. Just keep rolling them. Absolutely great. And then what happened? Oh, Pittsburgh gets another penalty. And honestly, the New York Rangers power play in this instance looked fantastic. I mean, they did the right thing. What they did was they did the two guys down. A guy trailed the other guy. The first guy took the defenseman. Nice pass from the corner. Shea couldn't stop it. Boom. Zibanejad's going to bury that every time. Actually, really nice play by the New York Rangers there. Had to give it to him. And honestly, the New York Rangers at that point were really coming hard, and they deserve that goal. So 2-1. There were some other things that happened. Malkin could have got called for an elbow penalty. Looked like that the refs pretty much swallowed the whistle at that point. I don't really know. The interesting thing was the ref on the far side of the wall. He, early in the game, Avery Hayes knocked Avery Hayes almost out, and Avery Hayes knocked him into the New York Rangers bench. Then at the end of the period, he just basically stopped the play from happening right at the end of the period. You can see Sully going off the ice, shaking his head. So, you go into the third period, and, after Thursday night, I'm like, okay, maybe they cured your third period problems. Maybe they can do it. And you knew right away they did not. 17 minutes left, and the Rangers already score a goal. And here's the thing, the Rangers had a huge draw. They were winning all the draws tonight. There were 29 wins versus 9 losses going into the third period. And that's a bad sign for a team that's trying to hold on. You got to win those draws. Trocheck's great at draws, et cetera, et cetera. The thing that drove me crazy, I'd love to show this as a highlight, and I'm not going to do it tonight, but go back and watch. 18 minutes, 30 seconds left in the period. Brian Rust jumps on the ice. At 17 minutes, 30 seconds, he had a chance to get off the ice before they score the goal. And I don't know what he was doing. He was just kind of like skating around at center ice, just kind of not doing anything. Get to the bench. Get to the bench. What happens is they shoot it in. Russ can't track it down a couple times. And then a real nice play to get Radish and, to tie this thing up 2-2. Oh, my God. I was screaming at Russ. Get off, get off, get off. Terrible change there by Brian Rust. I hope he goes back and looks at that and next time thinks, get off the damn ice. Pretty much from that point on, it was back and forth, screaming for a goal, didn't get it on both sides. Really, both sides had a chance. Skinner and, of course, Shesterkin played pretty good rest of the third period. So we go to the overtime. The good old 3-on-3. Didn't look like Olympic 3-on-3, did it? But nonetheless, neither team really has a superstar. Gino had a couple chances, showed a little bit of burst there, but you're not going to get past Shesterkin at this point unless it's going to be, a point blank shot or maybe a, one timer to a wide open guy. And that didn't happen. So we go to overtime. And like I said, I was hoping that Stu could save the day. He's the only guy that we haven't seen in a Penguins outfit in a goalie uniform to, help save the Pittsburgh Penguins shootout worries and problems, but not even Stu could do it. I mean, Mantha, yuck. Vinny scored on a nice goal. Chinny couldn't get it past the 5-hole. Miller, Stu stopped Miller, but Tommy wasn't even close. I don't even think he hit the net on it. So, oh my goodness. So yeah, that's their 8th potential point that they could have had. They could have gained by going there. Now you could say, well, at least they're making it to overtime and they're getting these loser points. I think they're the number one team. I could be wrong on this, but they either have 12 or 13 loser points, tops in the league. I think Avalanche is right behind them. Even if they get half of those, it's something that the Penguins just, they got to fix. They got to fix it. But overall, I guess the only other thing, you can say is they got a loser point out of it. And all points count when you're not playing with Sidney Crosby. And tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins do get a loser point. They're back in action tomorrow afternoon at home. The Las Vegas Knights are probably just waiting for them in town. Jack Eichel's in town. And I think it's a 3:00 game, 2:30, 3:30 game, something like that. So Pittsburgh Penguins get a chance to kind of correct what happens in the third period. Look, they're great in the first 2 periods. In the first period, they got the best goal differential in the league. In the second period, it's still really good. It's like a plus 26 or something like that. But in the third period this year, garbage. It's like a -3. So something the Pittsburgh Penguins are absolutely going to have to work on if they want to make the playoffs, if they want to be relevant in the playoffs. You got to play a much better third period. But tonight, Pittsburgh Penguins, this afternoon, the Pittsburgh Penguins lose to the New York Rangers 3-2. The New York Rangers, who aren't going anywhere. It's kind of a lost point. They should have gotten this one, but did not. So that's the way the puck bounces, as they say. Hopefully they can get back on. That first line, still not looking great. They had Kindle up on the first line for one shift, so they didn't really even, maybe that was just because that's what happened in the rotation. So back at it tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon hockey. I know the Flyers are on right now, playing Boston. That's kind of important for the wild card race. So check it out. I'm going to go for a walk with my wife and make amends on all the screaming I did the last 2 hours. So you go enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you tomorrow. I'm your Hockey Jesus. I'm here after every single Pittsburgh Penguins game. If you like what you hear, smash that subscribe button. Stop by tomorrow after the game. I'll be back. Just here doing a show. I love the game of hockey. I feel like it's my passion, so I'm just sharing it with you guys. Hopefully you like it. If you do, like I said, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, see you.